Now, some people may still have a major doubt about the whole issue, and they might think, okay, it makes sense that we need to make every moment of sex more enriching, more nourishing, because every moment of sex does give us something. But surely the orgasm is still the most powerful, the most amazing, the most incredible thing you can feel in sex. It is essentially the best thing you can feel in sex. And therefore, it is very important to include, because why would it be not important to include the best thing you can feel in sex? Because of course we have been conditioned in our culture to believe that the best thing you can feel in sex is the orgasm. So this belief that the orgasm is the best thing you can get out of sex is not true. It really needs to be challenged. It really needs to be reviewed from a few different angles. How do we evaluate the best thing in sex? Are we saying that basically the orgasm is the best thing in sex because it is the strongest sensation, it is the most intense sensation? Are we evaluating sex by a simple scale from a weak sensation to a strong sensation? That's what makes sex good. That's what makes sex amazing. Doesn't this sound a bit prehistoric to you, like something that hasn't been updated since the cave times? We have evolved in our senses. We have created all these arts and culture and experiences and a complexity of our relationships. We are having a fairly complex experience in sex with another person. All that beauty, all those senses, all that relational stuff that is flowing between us, all that richness of our senses, and we are evaluating it by what? By how intense this physical sensation is. If I got the most intense physical sensation, that means I got the best thing. We need to open our minds. The best thing might be the most beautiful moment that you felt there. It might be the most interesting energy in your body. It might be the most blissful energy in your body, not necessarily the strongest sensation. It might be the most happy moment that you experienced in sex. It might be a moment of profound love that was the most amazing moment you experienced in sex. It might have been an amazing moment of floating in some kind of a spiritual dimension that was the most incredible moment in sex. Even your body doesn't experience itself in this very straight, primitive line from weak sensations to strong sensations. The body actually has a lot of richness, a lot of complexity. You can feel really amazing experiences in your body that you can't even describe. They have different colors, different frequencies. Why are we evaluating sex in the 21st century by the strongest physical sensation? Why are we not saying that sex was really amazing because it made me feel really nourished, or it made me feel really happy, or it made me feel really loved, or it made me feel really blissful, or it was an incredible spiritual experience, or it was really interesting, it was really cool, or it was super sexy and erotic and hot. Any of these at different times, or all of these in the same time. Why are we saying that I've had the best sex because I felt the most intense physical sensation? And do we need to choose the best sex that we're going to have and then have that kind of sex every day for the rest of our lives? Because that is exactly what happens with the orgasm. If you decide that the orgasm is the best thing in sex, then every time you have to have the orgasm, every time you have the same kind of sex. And moreover, most of the time you have in the same kind of sequence, because there is this particular sequence that gets you to the orgasm for the rest of your life. There is no such thing as the best kind of sex. There is sex that is the best for you today, for your energy today, for your mood today. One day you are in the energy where the best sex for you is this really hot, erotic, super sexy, passionate sex. Another day is the worst kind of sex for you. Another day the best sex for you is really deep, blissful, regenerative, restorative, nourishing sex. Another day you really need to feel loved, you really need to feel connection with your lover. That is the most important thing for you in sex. Sex is like different kinds of music. There is no such thing as the best kind of music. There are just different kinds of music that suit you best on any given day. So you can actually decide to have your orgasm as, one of the best things that you like to experience. Sometimes that is, the best thing for you on any given day, but it's really boring when that is the only best thing you've got in your library. So this whole thing about the orgasm being the best thing really needs to be reconsidered. And if the orgasm is the best thing in your life at the moment, it probably means that there is a lot more for you to discover, and there is a lot more that you can experience with a better technique, with a better approach. And you probably need that nutrition. You probably need that in your life, because if the orgasm is the best thing for you in your life right now, it probably means that there is a lot missing from your sex life at the moment. And one more thing I want to say is, let's say that the orgasm is the best. thing in sex. Let's say it is the most intense, the best moment of sex. It isn't, but let's say this for the sake of the argument. Then what? Because the orgasm is not just the orgasm, it's not just that moment, it is a complex. It comes with everything else. It doesn't come on its own. It comes with all the work you have to do for it, all the stress, all the pressure. It comes with losing everything else that you could be doing in sex, all the real enrichment to work on that orgasm. It comes with a calm down after the orgasm, the drop in your energy, the drop in your connection, the recovery curve. So I can say that when I'm high on MDMA, that is the best moment of my life. So now what? Should I just keep doing that? We have to stop applying this class A drugs philosophy to our sex life, that one moment of intense pleasure means it's okay to sacrifice everything else to it and just turn the whole sex into disconnected mechanical work devoid of any nutrition and then go through a calm down because we're experiencing that one intense moment of pleasure. Isn't it better to not go for that full intensity, to have something that is a little bit less intense, but it feels really good, it feels really nourishing, it makes you feel really well? It really brings positive energy into your life. Isn't that a better choice, even if it is less intense, even if we could get a more intense sensation? But once again, I'm really saying this just for the sake of the argument. I'm really convinced that that moment of the orgasm is not the greatest experience you can feel in sex anyway. It is okay, it is somewhere in the middle, it is enjoyable enough. It is just not, absolutely not the greatest experience you can have in sex. There are many, many experiences you can have in sex that are far more amazing in different ways than that, intense explosion of orgasm.